Hello, everyone. It is Thursday, March 28th, 2024, last day of the week because we have Good Friday tomorrow. Let's get into our picks from the last video. So, first one, or I guess the only one that I had yesterday, was Delta Airlines. You can see when I called out the video, I'm not sure, somewhere here. But stock has made a very, very nice run today. Stock has made a really nice run today and still looks pretty good. Still just compressing, digesting some of these gains, and we should get the next leg higher after some more time. Remember, the target on that original video is if it hits this horizontal resistance over here, and if we have to pull back to the 8 EMA, we can consider adding. So Dallas is looking pretty good. Let's look at some of the other picks. So first, let's talk about APA. We had an opportunity to scratch the other half of our trade this morning. So we have a half win and a half scratch. So ends up netting out to a small win on that trade. So we can take APA out of the books. We have App. App is slowly making a recovery today. So might need a little bit of time to digest the gains, but I'm still confident that we'll have a chance to test and take a tiny win or a scratch on this trade on this next leg higher. So App, we're going to give some time. Wells Fargo, nice response today. We got in around here at 511. So right now it's kind of testing this $58 support level. You can see how there is some selling pressure here. But I do think that if I actually draw this over here, yep, so we broke through this downward sloping trend line. We're breaking out of this channel. If we can get out of this leg higher, then we have a chance to get a small profit on this trade, but we're not looking for too much because this stock has been very, very compressy, I would say, very flat, right? So our bias for the trade is no longer as strong as it once was. It is a little bit weaker. So we're looking to try to minimize the damage and try to escape with a small win if we can. Our Amazon put credit spread is in good shape. So we got that filled yesterday. We have until April 12th. So we have 2 weeks on that spread. And it is in a nice grind higher. And we have Lyft. So Lyft, similar story to App, but you can see how this is, I think, something I missed in my analysis. Oh, we're going to go all the way back pretty far over here. Okay, what is this first horizontal line? You can see there's a little bit, and if I go to this level here, you see there's a little bit of horizontal resistance coming into play at this level right here. And at this high is a bit of a high, but what this tells me is that Lyft, and if we go all the way to the end, Lyft is actually rubbing up against this level, bouncing off a little bit here. So it's finding a little bit of rejection. So because I missed this, we also have some downward sloping 1OTL trend line coming into play, but not as balanced. I'm not giving it as much weight. What I believe is that this trade may not work out so well. So we're trying to take a small loss on this trade because I missed this D1 level. So we're going to try to get out around this $20.34 level. The stock has not been able to rally with this market. Let's put the market overlay up in the background. You can see how pull back. That's still fine, testing this level here, but has not really been able to take off. So we want to see it take off and challenge this high. So my plan for Lyft is to take a fairly small loss if I can. Because I missed this level, unless we get a really strong market tailwind, then it has the potential to break out of that trade. But how I see with Lyft, let's escape with a small loss in this case. Okay. So now we have our picks out of the way. Let's talk about the market. So yesterday, or let's start with the longer term context, which is still very, very bullish, still unchanged. Shorter term context, we had this pullback coming in last week. Pretty weak price action. And not a lot of volume, a lot of buying in here. Start to go flat for a couple of days. So I said, hey, this is the first sign that the pullback, that the down move is over. Buyers and sellers at equilibrium, and then we might get that next stage higher. And that's what we got pretty much in the last 40 minutes. We got a massive surge higher above the prior day high, breaking out of the day and forming a bullish hammer on the SPY chart. So pretty nice move today. Now for SPY, we are at the prior day high. We opened flat and we're holding all the gains. So some swing traders, I think there was some opportunity to take some swings yesterday, so that's why we had called out Dallas. Today, there might be some opportunity to take some swings, but the market is pretty dead. If you look at the market components for the day, there was some rally breath, like IWM was doing pretty well, RSP was up, Mega Cap Tech was a little bit weak, Tech was kind of okay, slightly strong for the day. VIX was up slightly for the day, but there's more stocks on heavy buy. So we had some bullish bias on the market component side, and we have nothing to worry about contextually on the D1 chart. We don't have to worry about a big pullback in SPY because we kind of already finished that phase of the move, and we're starting on this next leg higher. I'm also not too worried about the market being hitting a capitulation point. If we look at the D1 chart, it would have to break through this upward sloping trend line, which would come into play around 58.50. So unless it breaks that today, which I think is very unlikely, I don't think we are really going to be worried. Worried about that move. We also don't have to worry about the bottom falling out. So in the longer term bias here, we're still good. My shorter term market bias is a 2 bullish. Coming up from a 0 because we got some really strong price action on the day, and that move is holding right now. We're still digesting the gains on a holiday move. So I like this right here. We're close to the all-time high, not quite there, but this is a pretty nice move. So semis had some decent strength today. Retail, healthcare were pretty strong. Utilities and mats were pretty weak. If you look at the price action for today, again, it's at a flat open. We had some volume today and some volume yesterday. There's some end-of-month buying probably taking place. So I think we're seeing that in some of the price action today. That's why some of the volume is pretty heavy. If they're an asset manager, there is some reallocation of assets based on your percentage mix that you try to target each month to maintain a balanced portfolio and hedge risk appropriately. So if there's a lot of gains in tech, you might see some selling. If there's not a lot of buying in mats or something, you might see some buying there. So there's doing some end of month allocation and reallocation of funds into different equity classes. Or not different, well, I guess different equity classes, but also different industries in different stocks. All right, so flat day, and the price action from the first hour told us that we're probably not going to make any move fast. Now, early in the day, we had a potential for this to be a trend day. Now, what we needed is the market had to break the high of the day. Market had to break the high of the day. Actually, let me check on Goldman Sachs. A little bit of a trade here. Nice. Market had to break the high of the day, and we had to produce on that bull cross. So you can see we had a bearish cycle here, didn't produce. So we said, okay, took some starter positions here. And we said, okay, if the market can break the high of the day, we have a chance to maybe add to our starter positions. So cycle continues. And then I saw this candle, which actually poked above this high of the day, was a nice green bar, and then it turned into a bearish hammer. And I thought that was a very key bar for the day, because if we were bullish, that wouldn't have happened. This tells us that the range is likely going to be intact, and I look to adjust my bias on the trade. So now, instead of looking to add to winners and willing to hold through pullbacks, I'm now looking to take profits on the day trade when the move stalls. So let me look at something like COF. for example. So I took COF long here at 10.55. And after I got this candle, I actually exited a little bit too early at 11.30, which I still got a pretty nice gain of the move. But it was still pretty strong. And the market was pulling back, it's still pretty strong. Now that my bias was more range bound, I would say, hey, at this point, now I'm not looking to add to any moves. I'm going to ride the move out until it stalls. It stalled around 10.50, and you can see how we got this pitter-patter price action, starts to move sideways. Take your gains over here. So still got a pretty nice chunk of the move, but I didn't miss out on 50 cents on this stock. So COF now is actually setting up for a pretty nice entry point here. It's come back to the 8 EMA. It's compressed. We got a little bit of a pullback, but my market bias isn't very bullish. So this is a setup where you could probably enter here and then take gains into strength. You want a great entry point. And so GS was another one I got an alert for. I managed to get in around 417. And now I'm looking to take profits on this next leg higher. So we're going to try to sell one GS here. This is another day trade I'm in, but another sell one at 418. Okay. So our buys for the day, this is a range bound day. So what does that mean? First of all, if you're a day trader, this is what I'm doing. We had some starter positions on. As long as they continued to perform and they held up pretty well, we could stick with them once they started to stall, take your profits. The second thing is we want to see how we interact in this range bound day. If we hold this upper end of the range like we're doing, then we have a chance to actually break through. So you can see on the reverse on a day like Tuesday, right? We start the day on a pretty range bound day, right? Market's testing both sides of the range. Then the market's spending a little bit more time on VWAP. This is a pretty decent bearish move. We poke through here a little bit, and then we get the flush at the end of the day. So because we had this bearish bias, here's the halfway point of the range. Because we had this bearish bias in the range, it tells us that that breakout is a little bit more likely in that direction. We're still not trading preemptively, but it helps us align our bias and helps us find potential stocks on the short side in this case, although, I don't think you'd really predict this kind of move, but on the short side in this case, where you could take some very, very nice profits. So in this case, I want to see the flip happen. If we keep holding the midpoint, which actually aligns very well with the prior day high, so that's a pretty nice indicator. The longer we hold this midpoint, right, and we find gains and we're in this upper end of the range, it's more likely that we are biased to the upside and we get a breakout over there. All right. So if I'm a day trader, I'm waiting for pullbacks and I'm looking to enter on strong stocks, provided that this range holds. Now, if we did get a breakdown of this range, I'm not really looking to short. I'm just going to be holding off on longs because this move here is very, very strong and we have buying throughout this level. So to me, I don't think the market's going to do a whole lot today. Your best move is to enter stocks on pullbacks and sell into strength on day trades. You just need one or two very, very nice trades. So look at a couple of tags here. You see I got an alert for MPC, right? This is a nice move here. And this is a stock I actually really like on a D1 swing basis. Nice grind up higher, pull back to the 8 EMA today, found some support, and now it is breaking above this range right here, and actually above the this high. You can see how it's testing this level, then it's breaking out of this compression, slowly grinding higher. So MPC is a nice one that you could day trade. And what I usually do is find really, really strong D1 stocks, and then I set alerts on them. So COF got another move over here. Ball has a decent grind higher. Let's look at COF. COF could be another nice day trade potential setting up. EH is very choppy, but you could probably enter on, again, this LRSI pullback right here. And then you could sell some gains into strength. So them just quick hit and runs, but out there on the side are not trading too much. I think one or two great trades is really all you need on a day like this. Small size, passive targets. You make some small money because we don't have the strong trend that we need to in order to take more profits. So what are my picks for the day? Well, if we hold this move today, here's the couple of picks that I like. So the first one that I mentioned is MPC. I like this strength. I like this bounce off the 8 EMA. I like how we found support. And I think it has a pretty clear path to this high. So we have a nice ATR move to that high, which is at, let's see, 203. So 350. Yeah, so that's about a 1 ATR move. Disney is also pretty nice. Let's look at this chart. Pretty nice, steady grinding. You can enter on a pullback, and then you can ride this move higher. So Disney is also a stalker where they like. Ball is one that I like a lot. Hit some resistance all the way back from this very, very old gap. Yep, this long red earnings candle right here hit some resistance. So now we're actually in the gap. We have lots of room until this next point to the gap. And we have about a month until earnings. So this is probably one that you could ride into earnings on a long call. So lots of nice picks here. Kava is also a very nice swing trading pick. So, but I got to give one pick, and I got to give the best one that I can find. And I think I am going to go with MPC. I think that's going to be my pick of the day. I love this bounce of the 8 EMA. I love the strength in the price action. I know energy has been volatile in the past, but this has very strong, steady price action. And I like the move here that I am seeing. So I think MPC is going to be my pick of the day. We're going to add it to our YouTube picks. And we're going to take a look at MPC on Monday. So thanks everyone for watching this video, and I will catch you all on the next one.